The General Overseer of Omega Fire Ministries, Apostle Suleman, has emphasized the importance of cultivating an unbroken relationship with God through daily fellowship and constant spiritual awareness. He said that the believer's true source of strength, peace, and direction is found in the presence of God, not in human energy or effort. In a recent message, the cleric explained that divine presence is not an occasional experience but a way of life that must be consciously maintained. He stressed that spiritual intimacy is the key to accessing divine strength, adding that Christians must intentionally create time and space for fellowship with God. To enter God's presence is to uncover strength, Apostle Suleman taught. There are two essential dimensions of prayer and divine connection. The first is what I call the secret place, the personal altar, where a believer meets with God. According to him, the secret place is not limited to a physical location such as a prayer closet or church building. Rather, it is a spiritual atmosphere of communion where one maintains an ongoing awareness of God. He described it as a sacred bond that can be sustained anywhere as long as the believer's heart remains connected to heaven. The secret place is not about geography, it is about consistency. He said, every child of God must build a personal altar of fellowship. That altar can be in your room, your car, or even in your heart. The important thing is that you have a place where you meet God daily. Apostle Suleman further encouraged believers to begin and end their days in God's presence, explaining that the first and last words a person speaks each day carry great spiritual weight. When you wake up in the morning, the very first thing that should come out of your mouth is your connection to God, he advised. Before you greet anyone, speak to your Maker. And when you go to bed, the last thing you say be directed to him as well. Let your day start and end in his presence. He described this daily discipline as a form of spiritual alignment, saying it shapes a person's thoughts, attitude, and energy for the entire day. Morning fellowship, he noted, sets the tone for victory, while nighttime communion invites divine protection and rest. Your first conversation of the day determines your direction, he continued. If you begin with God, you carry his peace. If you begin with God, you carry his wisdom throughout the day. And if you end the day with him, your mind rests in safety. The apostle warned that many Christians lose spiritual strength because they have neglected personal fellowship with God. He taught that private prayer life is what sustains public victories and that no one can manifest God's power without first spending time in his presence. You cannot shine in public when you're weak in private, he cautioned. Intimacy with God is what makes you his carrier. When you dwell in his presence consistently, you become his walking temple, a vessel that carries divine presence wherever you go. He also noted that intimacy with God brings transformation and empowerment. The more a believer spends time in God's presence, the more their life reflects his nature, manifesting peace, boldness, and supernatural strength even in difficult seasons. Those who live in the secret place do not panic when challenges come, he said. They draw their strength from God, while others are anxious. They remain calm because their confidence is not in circumstances but in the presence. Apostle Suleman concluded by urging Christians to make their relationship with God a daily priority rather than an occasional activity. True spiritual power, he said, does not come from routine or religion, but from real relationship and communion with the Creator. The secret to lasting strength is intimacy, he concluded. If you want peace that endures, if you want strength that never fails, then stay connected to God. Let the first voice you hear each morning be his, and the last word you speak at night be directed to him. That's how to live in divine strength. This message, according to listeners, serves as a strong reminder to rebuild personal altars and return to daily devotion. It called believers to renew their commitment to fellowship with God as the ultimate foundation for spiritual growth and inner peace.